We're here in the paddock with David Bartholomew. You're the defending champion for the low-cost championship. You won it in 2008. You're in a great position today to take the 2009 title as well.
Yeah, it's been a good season. Didn't get off to a great start because I missed the first couple, but the rest of the season's been pretty kind to me. Yeah, so reasonable finish today, and hopefully we'll get it tied up.
Your nearest competitor is Scott Mattel, and in a worst-case scenario, if he wins, where do you need to finish?
Scott's had a great season actually. He's pushed me pretty hard all season long. I think the difference is about 17 points, so I need to be in the top 10 if Scott finishes on the podium today. Really.
Get set for some great racing in the Demon Tweaks Yokohama Low Cost Championship. The cars, based around the Design and Run Champions book, build your own sports car for as little as £250. It costs a bit more than that to build them these days. Still not very much though in motorsport terms. They're powered by the 1300cc Ford Crossflow engine, and there's a 4 or 5 speed Ford gearbox in there as well, and the Yokohama A539 is the control tyre. The two championship protagonists are on the front row, Scott Mattel and David Bartholomew, with Alistair Garrett and David Black, two regular front runners over the last couple of years, up there as well. So the race gets underway. It's a good start there from Scott Mattel from pole position then, and 32 low costs make their way up towards riches for the first time. There is the orange car, that's Alistair Garrett, that just jinked out of Mattel's slipstream, is tucked in behind Bartholomew now, who goes around the outside at Rich's corner to take the lead of the race. Alistair Garrett, then the man from Nottingham, follows him through into second position. Mattel may well be back down to third place in the car that carries the colours of the Italian tricolour. There is the 30 car, that is Lynn Owen, that's the car he shares with his brother Reese. They're leading the team challenge coming into this final meeting as well for cars that are shared by pairs of drivers during the season. 67 there in the red and yellow colours is Ernie Gushlow. 58 is John Bunt as well as they go down the Revett Straight. It's a great place for slipstreaming this, and it looks like Alistair Garrett has made good use of that, because these cars underpowered, not very aerodynamic, great place to get a tow, and he's done so. He's got ahead of David Bartholomew and Scott Mattel there in third place.
So frenetic start then to this low-cost race, as it always is in the championship. Very, very busy opening encounter, and of course with the Revett Straight being a prominent part of the track, that's your classic place to slipstream an opponent and try and rearrange the order a little bit. We're guaranteed some action in that regard before the checkered flag. This race, 13 minutes plus a lap, so looking at the lap times that they posted in qualifying, that's going to be roughly a 10 or 11 lap race, something like that, as it's very, very busy there through the chicane at Russell. Car going wide as well, but Alistair Garrett leads the way at the moment. Across the line he goes. It's got David Bartholomew very much for company, and Scott Mattel tucked in behind in the green, white and red car. David Black also there in that leading group, and the number 30 car of Lynn Owen having a good scrap with Daniel Sibbons. Those are the two team racers, as Scott Mattel squeezes up the inside there at Sear Corner to take second place away from David Bartholomew. And David Black is there watching it all unfold, but there's a fight back here as the number 1 car draws alongside Mattel, and David Black takes advantage of the hole in the air being punched by Bartholomew. So 3 abreast for second position effectively, and the pressure's really on Alistair Garrett at the end of the Revett Straight. Garrett swoops across in front of all 3 cars, but Black might be able to take the 2 of them here. Not quite. Scott Mattel hangs on to second place for the time being, but Black has managed to get into third position ahead of Bartholomew. Richard Jenkins looks like is the next one in line in the principally silver car with the green frame, the green rollover hoop. But here comes Alistair Garrett then, with Scott Mattel about a car length behind him, and Richard Jenkins also in turn under pressure there from, I think, James Pinkerton.
So into the chicane they go for the second time. That's the number 87 car making its way through. That's Daniel Sibbons getting ahead of Lynn Owen there in the number 30 car. And that's one of the cars that has won races during the course of this season. We've had 7 different winners. The man who's won most races, Matt Sherrington, not here this week. He had problems at Silverstone, or at Alton Park I should say, and hasn't been seen since then. Unfortunately, he did take 4 race wins in the middle of the season though in the biofueled car. There's the 71 car of Vicky Pickles, just ahead of 22 as well. That's James McAllister as they turn their way through Sear Corner. There is Bartholomew, you can see, and that is the 28 car of David Black. So he is right in touch at the sharp end of the field, but now it's Scott Mittel who is going to try and take the lead away from Alistair Garrett here. He gets alongside as they go into the S's. Still a long way to go towards the S's. Under the bridge they'll turn left now, and Scott Mittel, the maths school teacher from Bournemouth, has taken the lead of the race.
So dramatic stuff at the end of the Revett Straight and into the S's, but Alistair Garrett, you can bet, will have a reply to Scott Mittel's pace. Mittel just sits there, gets the car lined up nicely for the bomb hole, and goes through what is a frightening part of the track in one of these low-cost machines. So nothing between the leading duo at the moment, with Alistair Garrett trying to force an opportunity on the entry to Russell Chicane, but Mittel sits the car right in the middle of the road and doesn't present that opportunity to Garrett for the time being. The number 3 car then will just have to bide his time at this stage of the race. In second place then it's David Black, and here comes Garrett trying to duck out of the slipstream across the start-finish line, and there's a spin at the Russell Chicane. The number 91 car involved, that's Max Lees. The other car facing the wrong way is number 73, the car of Rob Apsley, who rejoins pretty swiftly, and strangely enough it's Mark Lees that struggles to get going once again. Also with 2 cars stranded right in the middle of the track, other cars have to go a little wayward route across the grass. Very, very busy part of the chicane here, and a man trying to get himself involved in the top 3 is Tom Collar.
Yes, and Tom, the man who lies in 5th place in the championship coming into this round, he's the leading driver yet to win a race this season. Side by side once again for the lead between Scott Mittel and Alistair Garrett. They've both had 2 wins this season, as has David Bartholomew, who's in 4th place. David Black is yet to get off the mark. He's yet to have a podium, in fact, this season, is David Black, although he has been a front runner for a couple of years now. Rest of the field coming through to complete another lap, and more dicing going on down the order here. Up towards Sear Corner they will go. See all these cars jostling for position. It's not uncommon, as at Silverstone earlier in the year, to get 9 cars separated by a second at the end of a race. Here's the battle for the lead once more. Looks like David Black now trying to involve himself in it as well. He's got through into second place there, so Mittel leading. Second place is Black, third place is Alistair Garrett, 4th now Tom Collar. David Bartholomew's falling back a little bit, but as long as it stays like this, he's safe for the championship.